How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. This is Spider, obviously, and in this video we're going to be breaking down the team I drafted for the Uber Pokemon Association, the UPA. So obviously it's an Uber league. I kind of wanted something to juxtapose the WPF that I'm doing right now, since that one's kind of one I'm taking pretty seriously. Not that I'm not going to try in this, but I also think that it's going to be more chill because it is Ubers, and I'm not the best with Ubers, but I wanted to give it another shot. Wanted to kind of have something, like I said, to combo with the WPF there. So anyway, as far as the rules, I guess I'll go through the rules. So you can draft 10 to 12 Pokemon, whatever you want. As far as those are the limits. 140 points total, and the draft board goes from 1 to 27 points. So 27 being like Calyrex, Ice, Mewtwo, and Zacian. And then 26 is Deoxys Attack, Groudon, Ho-Oh, and so on and so forth. So that's that. As far as Terra, you can Terra 2 to 3 Pokemon with 19 points total. So the point value is the same for the Pokemon as far as Terra, but they can only be 11 points and under. And within that, certain Pokemon are Terra banned, like for example Regieleki, Regidrago, Superior, things like that, that are 11 points and under, but you can't Terra them. So that's the situation there. And then as far as the Ubers rules, like you can draft 2 to 3 Ubers, but they can't exceed 50 points. So the Ubers tier counts from 20 points to 27. And I didn't really pay attention to that. I just got 2 Ubers and moved on with my life. So yeah, obviously none of the Ubers can terrestrialize. I think that goes without saying, because none of them are under 11 points. So anyway, kind of dragging on here. Let's get right into the draft here. So I was 4th overall. I think I was 4th overall in WPF as well. The 3 picked before me were Kyurem White, Groudon, and Kyurem Black. So obviously I had a lot of options here, and I wanted to get Groudon. I considered, well, it obviously didn't matter because it got picked before me, but I did kind of want to make a little Sun team. That got taken, so I figured, hey, Zacian's still on the board, so let me just grab it. It's just probably just as one Pokemon is probably just the best, as well as it's shiny looking awesome. I mean, look at that thing. I get to use it shiny. It's not shiny banned, which is cool. A lot of Pokemon like Spectrier is shiny banned, so I can't use shiny for the WPF, but I can use shiny for this, so that's cool. Zacian's got great stats, obviously. Look at that speed stat, 138. That's crazy. Even in Ubers, that's really good. And having the Intrepid Sword, 1-time boost for attack, definitely gonna try to take advantage of that. I see myself probably trying to use this as maybe a sweeper, just because I don't want to be switching out of this a lot, because on the first switch in I get the attack boost, and after that I'm not going to get it. So I gotta really try to take advantage of that. On top of it, just being able to use an item like Life Orb or a Choice Band, or whatever, maybe leftovers. So with this very good bulk, I could see myself using like a sub Sword Stance kind of thing. It does get Trailblaze if I need to boost its speed even more. And as far as like things that beat this, there really aren't many typings that can beat this Pokemon, because I do a Close Combat or Sacred Sword, depending on what I want to do. Those 2 moves will hit these steel types. I have Psychic Fangs that'll hit the poison types. I have, Wild Charge that'll hit certain things like Ho-Oh that want to switch in. I have Wild Charge for that. And then, as far as like typings, fire types, but there aren't many bulky fire types. You think, I guess, Arcanine, like I said, Ho-Oh is one, but I can Wild Charge it. And, I'm not really seeing many like high tier, I guess Heatran, but Heatran I can Close Combat, so there really isn't much there as far as what can immediately come in and stop this thing, unless it's just hella bulky, or it gets boosts up. So Zacian, very fun, very excited to use this thing, hoping it goes really well. Next up, took a long time to get back to me. Well, not time wise, but as far as picks, it took a while. So I figured I'd just go with Dialga here. Origin, I think this thing's very powerful. I've gone against it as far as like random battles, because I like doing random battles from time to time on Showdown, and even though it's like level 69 or 70 or whatever it is, it still ends up just crushing things. I know that's not really a fair way to go about things like judging a Pokemon, but I mean, look at the Adamant Crystal. So it is a specific item that you have to hold, but I mean, that's a great item. Having a 20% boost on Steel and Dragon type moves, I think I just use that every week anyway, with the pressure, because first of all, huge stats all around the board. Its speed stats the worst at 90, but that's okay. I mean, it's not awful, and I can't, I obviously can't run a Choice Scarf, but we can get around that. Great stab options here. I can Iron Defense Body Press as well if I wanted to do that. I do get fire coverage for Steel types, and Stealth Rock, Thunder Wave, Trick Room. Obviously can't Trick with the Adamant Crystal, but and I do get Metal Burst, which is kind of interesting. Not a lot of Pokemon get this move. It's like Counter and Mirror Coat put into one, except it's not negative priority, so you have to make sure you don't outspeed that Pokemon. So you can just click Metal Burst if you know you're gonna take a hit. Maybe I'm against, well, actually Heatran I definitely get Earthquake for, yeah. Maybe I'm against a Pokemon that's just bulky and I'm not gonna be able to 1v1 it. I can pack a Metal Burst on there to just do that kind of surprise damage that jumps out at you. And if I need to go negative speed for that, I will. So very cool. It gets Bulk Up for some reason. I don't see myself using that often. No Calm Mind, unfortunately. Kind of wish I got Calm Mind, but that's okay. This thing is basically just to come in here, come into the battle, and hit things very hard with its coverage moves, and also just its stab options with the Adamant Crystal. Also, Steel Dragon is a very good typing. Two very good types put together. Doesn't always work out, but in this case it does. So that's Dialga. Can I shiny it? I wonder if I can shiny it. I'm gonna figure that out right now. Pokemon Go. Okay, I think I could shiny. Maybe I can't shiny Zacian. Oh wait, that's National Dex. Am I dumb? Obviously it's gonna say, okay, whatever. I'm not even gonna, doesn't matter. We'll figure that out later. So next Pokemon I got pretty quickly. And I wanted to go ahead and grab Meowscarada while I had the chance. Didn't want to risk it. I haven't really been able to use Meowscarada in draft, which has been kind of a mistake of mine. This is something I've wanted to use for a while, so try to get it early just to make sure, because again, round 4, I didn't know if I was going to get it at that point, even in an Ubers League. So, especially being on the tail end of round 4. Meowscarada is cool. It's got a great speed stat. Kind of gets in between Zacian and Dialga pretty well. Obviously, I'd need something in between Dialga and Meowscarada, but as far as in between Zacian and Meowscarada, I don't think I need anything. So, obviously, Protean is great. This thing did get Triple Axle in the DLC too, and got a little buff there. And look at all these coverage moves. I mean, it's just crazy. Obviously, being able to Spike Stack is awesome. Having U-Turn is great. Considering my first 2 Pokemon do not get, what do you call it? Momentum moves. It could also kind of be surprising with like a special set, because I do get Nasty Plot here. So like Nasty Plot, Dark Pulse, Giga Drain, and Aura Sphere, or Power Gem, or whatever it may be. That can be kind of fun. And with its speed stat, it's, Protean is very good. But, I considered, what else did I consider? I don't remember what I considered, but I considered other things. I just wanted to get Meowscarada because it's fast and it looks like it's fun to use. So having a Spike Stacker also is pretty nice, especially a reliable one. I feel like Meowscarada is a pretty reliable Spike Stacker because of its ability to, first of all, change its typing to ground, and also just be faster than most things. Next up, I got Infernape, which is another Pokemon. I think I said this in the WPF draft analysis. I thought about getting it in that league. I decided to get Quaquaval instead because that's a Pokemon I really wanted to try. Infernape is another one that I have experience with, but I did want to try again because it gets knockoff now, which is something that it didn't get before, which is cool. And it still gets, Swords Dance, still gets Nasty Plot, there it is, and Swords Dance, and it gets priority on both sides with Mach Punch and Vacuum Wave. Yep. And obviously just more coverage. Pretty relatively quick Stealth Rocker. I can also Will-O-Wisp Slack Off if I want to be some sort of utility, and I could just run Choice Scarf and hit things relatively hard with Close Combat and Flare Blitz, or if I want to go Gunk Shot as well. If I want to go on the special side, I can just run, like overheat, focus blast kind of thing. If I want to be a little bit living life on the edge there, I do get Calm Mind and Bulk Up as well. So that's really cool. I mean, this thing's like a jack of all trades, to be honest. So that's gonna be really fun to use. I think it got some pretty cool pieces here in the DLC. So that's cool. It does get Earthquake as well, and Encore. Jeez, I didn't know this thing got all these moves, to be honest, but I do like Infernape. I think it's really reliable. I think it's very, very good at what it does. So yeah. Next up, wanted a Wish Passer, a fast, bulky Wish Passer. Screamtail just checks a lot of boxes, to be honest. Getting that move there, getting Thunder Wave is great. Getting Stealth Rocks is great. Getting Encore is great. I mean, this thing has, obviously this is not a set I'd run, but it gets a lot of options here, as well as coverage is also very lengthy in coverage. The only thing is that it's not very strong, so you can't really be relying on like, oh, I'm going to bring Flamethrower to take down the steel types. Like, that's not really what's going to happen there, but it does get also dual screens, which is really cool. Psychic Noise could be a fun tech. Parashong could be interesting. I do remember I brought Parashong in the BBR Summer Scramble to beat a what's it called? Annihilate. Did Annihilate get drafted? I don't quite remember. No, it did not. Wow, Annihilate didn't get drafted. That's kind of surprising. I guess because it can't Terra, but it's still pretty good. I don't know. Maybe not in Ubers. Yeah, there's a lot of things that, like, obviously random tangent, but there's a lot of things that didn't get drafted. Neither of the Giratinas got drafted. Deoxys didn't get drafted. Dragapult, Speed Boost Blaziken, Darkrai, Spectrier, Landorus. Like, that's the thing in Uber's draft. Like, you have a lot of options because there are so many more Pokemon to choose from, and you have a lot of points. And Houndstone, which is 17 points, so it gets last respects. No one wanted that. That's kind of crazy to me. That's kind of crazy. Anyway, back to my stuff here. Yeah, bulky, fast, fat wishes. I know it's doubling up on a fairy type, but this isn't really a fairy type defensively, whereas this one is. So, cool stuff. Next up, I got Toxapex. I'm not sure how often I'm going to use this because it's so passive and it's so easy to set up on this, but if I could use this thing to beat some breakers, with the Rocky Helmet, and I can, obviously 100% accurate Toxics are nice. I get Toxic Spikes as well. Mid-Yawn. Iron Defense, didn't know it got that. Probably just because no one uses it. It's kind of a waste of a slot. I could Haze to get rid of stat boosts, but I'm so slow. Stat boosts. But I'm so slow that it's like, it's kind of a losing battle, I feel like, just spamming Haze. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Obviously not the most diverse thing, but when it comes to Ubers, where there are a lot of just wall breakers that just do a lot of damage, this thing can come in clutch. And it's a bulky water, and it absorbs toxic spikes. So that's what I have to say about that. Next up, I got Vikavolt, which is one of my Terra Captains. By the way, it's free Terra, so you can Terra any type. And you don't have to, it's not like Terra Preview, you don't have to let them know. So that should be fun. I got Vikavolt as a Terra Captain because I feel like being able to Terra with the Levitate is pretty cool. Like, I can Terra it into a fire type, but not be weak to ground. I could Terra just pure electric and not be weak to ground. Rock, if I wanted. What else? I know there are two other types. Can't think of them off the Steel. I could Terra Steel. That'll be cool. With Flash Cannon. And this thing does a few things. Obviously it doesn't roost, but it does get Sticky Web, which is really cool. Offers kind of that layer to my team. Agility can boost its speed by 2, which obviously it really needs if you're trying to be a sweeper. You can do that, and then you can just, it gets enough coverage to where it can work. Volt Switch is cool, as it can be like a bulky, kind of slow Volt Switch user. And with being able to Terra, I can, if there's a certain Pokemon like Heatran, if I need to kill a Heatran, I can Terra Ground, Terra Blast, and just blow that thing away, which is really cool. That bird's being awfully noisy. So that's the Vikavolt. Also, sick Terra. I don't know what you guys have, if you guys like this shiny or whatnot. I just can't speak right now. I love this shiny. I think it's awesome. So definitely gonna be shinying that thing. Next up, I got Donphan. I wanted a Rapid Spinner. So Donphan works pretty well in that role. Does also get Stealth. I have a lot of Stealth Rockers on this team. as well as, like I said, rapid spin. I can knock off if the ghost type wants to switch in to spin block me. Obviously I get earthquake, I get stone edge, ice spinner could be cool. Play rough, seed bomb. Again, a lot of coverage moves, a lot of diversity with my team. Almost everything can do several things except for Toxapex. So that's really fun. I can curse if I wanted. I don't know. This thing will probably end up being like Assault Vest or Rocky Helmet most weeks. Unless I want to run like Rock Polish Weakness Policy and just be crazy. Never mind. Doesn't get Rock Polish anymore. Oh my word, doesn't, whatever. I probably wasn't ever going to use that, to be honest. But it gets the necessary coverage to kind of just be annoying for physical Pokemon, and even for some special Pokemon if I slap an AV on it. So that's fun. Next up, I got Ambipom. This is a Pokemon I wanted to try as well. It's also a Terra Captain, which is cool. I wanted to try Electivire as well, but I decided between Ambipom and Electivire, I'd rather have Ambipom, and Vikavolt gives me, for 7 points, and being a Terra Captain, Vikavolt gives me much more than like a Terra Electivire would, I feel. So 6 point Terra Ambipom with Technician or Skill Link if I wanted, but probably just Technician. Just being able to Terra Normal, I feel, is pretty nice with the Technician boost, and just getting annoying Fake Outs off is great. I also get U-Turn. Look at that speed stat, 115. Crazy. I know it's really frail, but if I'm not taking hits, it doesn't really matter. Fake Out, U-Turn. I do get Triple Axle, which is another thing that it got, just like Meowscarada, they both got Triple Axle. Gets knockoff. I mean, look at the coverage options I have. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. I can hit pretty much everything super effectively if I wanted. Like if I just slap an Expert Bell on this and run like 4 moves, I could also just Terra to a different type if I really need something. Which is awesome. I see myself using Expert Belt, Life Orb, and Silk Scarf on this Pokemon. Those are probably the 3 items. Maybe a Choice Band, maybe a Choice Scarf in a pinch. But as far as items, yeah, those are really the 3 to 4 that I'll be using with this thing. But it can be very annoying, can be powerful at times. Next up, I got Bisharp. I wanted a bulkier Dark type, and at this point, my options were kind of few. Another Steel type doesn't hurt either, and because of King Gambit, this thing gets Eviolite now, which is great. Didn't notice that it lost knockoff, but that's okay. Another Stealth Rock user, as if we needed another one. And it can speed control with Thunder Wave. It can taunt things. It can still set up with Swords Dance and gets Sucker Punch, gets Iron Head. It can Brick Break for screens. Not the most diverse thing, but if I need that one Pokemon that can come in and deal with things with the Eviolite, this is certainly that Pokemon. So that is the Bisharp, and last but not least, we have the Drifblim, our final Pokemon, and our Terra Captain as well. So our Terra Captains are Vikavolt, Ambipom, and Drifblim. I just think Drifblim's really cool for 5 points. I think it offers a lot of utility: Aftermath, Unburden, Flare Boost. All pretty fun abilities to have, to be honest. And with Terra, it just makes it so much more fun to use. Because again, like, look at the utility moves. I get the, I get the Tailwind. I'm not going to use Tailwind. I get the Strength Sap. I get the Will-O-Wisp, Thunder Wave. I can set up with Calm Mind. I can knock off things. I can defog, which is great if I don't want to bring Donphan for spin. I get Destiny Bond, which could be fun. And of course, if I want to set up, like I said, if I want to set up with Calm Mind, I could do that with the Unburden, and I slap a Citrus Berry on this thing. Use the Citrus Berry, Calm Mind, we get the boost, and then we, start clicking Shadow Balls on things. I could Terra into something. Maybe I need to hit Ghost type, so I just, Terra Fairy, or the Freaks Fairy, and then just Terra Blast things. That could be fun, right? But that could also be annoying and just heal my health with Strength Sap. And just be very fun to use. Hypnosis, I'm not gonna use Hypnosis, but yeah, it's not like, as far as coverage moves, it's not the best, but it doesn't really need to do that. It can just sit there and be annoying with that big HP stat. I know it's its stats are pretty bad, but we can work with it. It can be a little gadget that we mix in every once in a while. So that's the team. I hope that you find it fun, because I find it pretty fun, and I'm going to try to get a lot of wins with it. Will I? I don't know, but Again, it's a new league. Wanted to give it a chance and give it hopefully some exciting battles. So yeah, that's it for this video. I think I'll try to get this up Wednesday. It might be Thursday. And then I think the battles after that are just every Wednesday. So be on the lookout next Wednesday for this. Obviously, when this comes up, 2 days later will be WPF week 1. So got a lot of stuff in store. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.